Back in colonial days, there wasn't much money. Most of the money that was around was minted by states or cities. It was paper money. The coins that were around were mostly Spanish doubloons. But you went to buy a couple heads of lettuce and some other stuff at the market, it wasn't going to cost you a whole Spanish dollar. So what did they do? They physically chopped the coin in half. Didn't cost that much, chopped it in half again. Didn't cost that much, chopped that in half again. So you had 8 pieces of a dollar, 8 bits. 2 bits are a quarter. Now you know more useless information you can impress your friends with. Okay, which brings me to my last instrument, and I should mention there is another dulcimer called a hammered dulcimer, which is a trapezoidal-shaped instrument. Many, many strings. You hit it with a mallet or a hammer. They were real popular in different areas 75, 100, 125 years ago. It's a really neat instrument. I really love it. I don't play it very well. It's kind of like potato chips, though. Once you start, it's really tough to stop. You just keep wanting to doodle and doodle and doodle. And I have to tell you another little story here. When I played the banjo, Lucy said when I got here today, she's so glad that the last 15 or 20 years, the banjo became so much more popular again. And I said, yeah, I know. And she said, do you have any reason why? And I said, sure. That famous pop rock singer named his group after that instrument. She said, really? Who was that? I said, you know, Ben Jovi. Okay, this brings me to my last instrument. This is my favorite one and my best one. Who had asked me this? John asked me this. Auto harp. This also has a strange story with it. It was invented around the time of the Civil War in Philadelphia by a guy named Charles Zimmerman. Anybody want to guess what nationality he was? German. You guys are good. Wow. Okay. So, and I'll give you the short version. He applied for a patent, got his patent. And the reason I know this story is there's another really good auto harp player from down in Norristown, or Phoenixville. I can't think of his name at the moment, who was a regional, local, national, international auto harp champion. He did some research on this instrument. What he found out was somebody else in Germany developed another system for doing this, putting chords on a zither at the same time. So what did Charlie Zimmerman do? He followed the all-American way. He used his patent and stole the other guy's method to make his auto harps. An auto harp, I can't call this an auto harp legally because that's a copyrighted name, but if you look under the bars, you see this white stuff, white felt, and there's spaces in the felt. And when you want to play a chord on here, it's real easy to play rhythm on here, just like it's easy to play melody on the mountain dulcimer. Push down a bar, the white felt blocks the bad notes. You don't hear them. The spaces let the good notes make sound, and you hear them. So you want to play a C chord, push down C and strum, F, G7, C. I was lucky enough to take some workshops with a guy named Brian Bowers, who's considered the best auto harp player in the world. So I get to play rhythm with my thumb, melody with my middle finger, and harmony with my low finger all at the same time. And if you watch very closely, you'll see that never will my fingers leave my hand. So this is an old-time Pennsylvania gospel song. Listen closely to the melody. Melody's going to sound like an old English gospel song. I think it's one of those they borrowed. It's called Listen Once to the Angels, How Prettily They Sing, or How de Mal de Engel Wie Sie Singen Jo So Schee. First, they'd ask the women. O Schwester, will du mit uns gehen? O Schwester, will du mit uns gehen? O Schwester, will du mit uns gehen nach Jerusalem? Do you want to go along to New Jerusalem? Up that way. And they would answer, Ja, ja, ma wollen mit euch gehen. Ja, ja, ma wollen mit euch gehen. Ja, ja, ma wollen mit euch gehen nach Jerusalem. And the chorus. Har ik mal I eng og vis, synger jo så skje. Har ik mal I eng og vis, synger jo så skje. Har ik mal I eng og vis, synger jo så skje. Himna Jerusalem. Thank you so much. I could play all night on this thing, and sometimes I do, but I have time for one more song on here. I'm going to finish up with this song. Like I said, some of these songs were brought over from Germany, some translated here, some local melody and local words. This one was written in German first, brought over here, translated into English. I have the German words at home, and I have the Pennsylvania Dutch version at home also, but I only have the English words memorized. So I'm going to try to finish up my grand finale with something really, really tricky. I'm going to play it, I'm going to sing it in English, and at the same time play it in German. I love to go a-wandering along the mountain track. And as I go, I love to sing my knapsack on my back. Everybody! Valerie, Valera, Valerie, Valera, Valerie, Valera. My knapsack on my back. Oh, may I go a-wandering until the day I die. And may I always laugh and sing beneath God's clear blue sky. Last time. Valerie, Valera, Valerie, Valera, Valerie, Valera. Beneath God's clear blue sky. Woo!
Thank you so much, Keith. What fun to listen to all those instruments. I know you said that at least one of them was created here in the United States, but were some of those instruments brought here by the German settlers, and do you know which ones?
Absolutely. Fiddles were brought over, but especially the Scheidhol or Scheidholz. Scheid, by the way, I didn't explain. Scheid means solid, steady, strong, something like that. And Holt is probably should have been Holtz, which is wood, so it's a nice, solid, steady wooden instrument. And that was brought over and evolved into the modern dulcimer.
Hi, welcome to the program.
Thank you. My name's Lucy Muth, and back in the early 60s, the Kutztown, Pennsylvania German Festival, Pennsylvania Dutch Folk Festival, in the evening, there was a free-for-all hoedown, and families were there, kids as young as 4, 5, 6 years old, up to grandparents had a free-for-all hoedown with probably as many as 6 or 8 sets dancing, and it was just a wonderful family-oriented activity, and we should get back to some more of those things.
It sounds like something that even the youngest people were involved in, and a nice way to start young children, teaching them about the culture and raising them in it very early.
Absolutely. Even if the kids couldn't dance, their dads would hold them in their arms and spin them around and dance with them.
A lot of fun.
Yes.
Thank you. Hi there, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Penny Rhodes, and I own this farm, and Keith has been coming here for decades, really, giving hoedowns, and it was like Lucy said, families came. So small children came, their parents came, the grandparents came, people brought food. Some of the children here, I'm sure, were brought as infants, and they would grow up and start to dance, and they learned to dance with multi-generational, which I think is wonderful, and it was just such a wholesome, wonderful thing that we used to do here. We don't do it anymore, but I hope that Ho Downing keeps going in private barns because it's really special. And he is an amazing caller.
Well, Keith, you have done a masterful job of doing that and sorting it all out for us. We've learned so much about Pennsylvania German culture, and we have had a wonderful time doing it. And we just want to thank you so much for sharing that information with us. We have had a wonderful audience who has shared some of their stories and had some great questions as well. We want to thank the Albany Township Historical Society for being such a wonderful host for us and for allowing us to be in this wonderful and picturesque bank barn. It has been such a good time. If you are interested in learning more about the humanities shows, Humanities on the Road, about PCN, go to the website, pahumanities.org, and there you'll get all kinds of information about what the Humanities Council is up to and about future shows, so we would encourage you to make sure you do that. And as we wrap up our program, Keith is going to sing us out with a little Happy Wanderer. Here he is.